Today we're going to talk about how to solve equations that do have percent in them, right? So let's begin. This is the percent sign. Percent means that cent is 100, right? So per, you remember we said in one of our videos, per means division. So percent, right, means over 100. That makes a lot of sense, right? So 25% is the same as 25 over 100. So yes, that is just a snippet of what percent means, right? So let's begin. All right, so this particular equation says 70% of x equals 140. There are two approaches that we can use, right? We already said that percent, so 70% is the same as 70 over 100. Of, in a previous video we said that of can be translated as multiplication. So 70% of x is the same as 70 over 100 times x. And again, 70 over 100 can also be expressed as 0.7 times x. So you can use either approach, okay? So we're going to do 70 over 100 times x equals 140. Now our multiplication rule of equality, we multiply by 100, we multiply this term also by 100. This gives me 70x equals 140, so 14,000. Division property of equality, so we divide by 70, we divide by 70. X equals 7 goes into 14, 2, there is a 0 here, there is a 0 there, so x is 200. You get that. Alternatively, you could have done 0.7x equals 140, and then if you have a calculator you could divide by 0.7, and then 140 divided by 0.7 is also 200. It's the same thing. All right, so let's look at this problem. X plus 20% x equals 30, right? So we have x. We said 20% is the same as 20 over percent per 100. X equals 30. So to cancel the 100 here, we can use our multiplication property of equality. We multiply each term by 100. This gives me 100x plus 100 cancels 100. This gives me 20x equals 30 times 100 is 3,000. So 100x plus 20x will give me 120x, and that is equal to 300. So let's divide both sides by 120. Let's divide both sides by 120. So x will be equal to 300 divided by 120. Let's see how we can simplify this. 0 cancels 0. Now we have 300 over, right? So you know that 300 can be expressed as 100 times 3, right? 12 can also be expressed as 4 times 3. Now again, you know that this then will cancel that, so you have 100 over 4, and this is 25 times 4. This is 4, right? So this cancels that. So 3,000 over 120 is x equals 25. Alternatively, if you are allowed to use calculator, you could punch that into the calculator and get your answer. Again, let's look at this problem. 2x plus 10% x equals 7. Very simple. We have 2x here. We have 2x here plus 10% is the same as 10% over 100, right? Percent. Cent is 100. X is equal to 7. We want to be able to eliminate the denominator, which is 100. So we use the multiplication property of equality. Multiply each term by 100. 100 times 2x will give you 200x plus 100 cancels 100, that will give me 10x, and this is 700, right? So this is going to give us 210x equals 700. Let's do division property of equality. Divide both sides by 210. X would therefore be equal to 700 over 210, right? So this cancels that. You have 70 over 10. You know 7 can go into 21, so you can as well express this as 7 times 10 over 7 times 3. This cancels that, so our x will be equal to 10 over 3, right, which is the same as 3 whole number 1 over 3. Alright, so let's look at this problem again. We have 2x minus 50% of x equals negative 9. 50% is the same as 1/2, right? So but then let's move systematically. 50%, 50 per over, that is cent, 100, x equals negative 9. So we multiply both sides by 100, right? So 100 times 2x minus 100 times 50 over 100, x equals 9 times 100, or 100 times 9 is the same thing. We have 200x, that is 100 times 2x minus 50x equals negative 900. So 200x minus 50x will give you 150x, and that will be equal to negative 900. So division property of equality, divide both sides by 150. So we have to divide both sides by 150, and you have x equals negative 900 over 150. So now let's see, 0 cancels 0. 15 times 2 is 30, times 3 is 45, 4 is 60, times 5 is 75, times 6 is 90, right? So this could have been expressed as 15 times 6 times 10, that is the 900, and this can be expressed as 15 times 10. So here 10 cancels 10, 15 cancels 15, and x will be equal to, don't forget the negative 6. Alright, so this problem is going to be our last problem on solving equations that involve or that contains percent, right? So again, I'm going to give you a minute to solve this. Yeah, hopefully you were able to solve it. So x minus 75% is the same as 75 over 100. X equals 70. Nothing has changed. We just change the percent to 75 over 100. Then we can multiply 100 by each, right? So 100 times x will give you 100x. There's an x here, sorry, x, and that will be equal to 7,000. So 100x minus 75x, they are like terms, so we can subtract their numeric coefficient. So 100 minus 75 will give you 25x, and that is 7,000. So we divide both sides by 25. We divide both sides by 25. X is equal to 7,000 over 25, right? So 7,000 over 25, if you have a calculator you can do that. That will be 280, right? If you don't have a calculator, you can break it down, because you know that any number that ends with 0 is divisible by 5, and 25 is also divisible by 5, right? So you could do that. 5 will go into, let's just try to do this. 5 will go into 70, so 14, right? And then there's a 0 here, there's a 0 there, so that will be 1,400 all over 5, because 5 goes into 25, 5, right? Then we look at 140, right? So 5 will go into 140, 28, and that will give you 280. That is pretty simple. Alright, so I hope you understood how to solve equations that contains percentages, right? Thank you very much for supporting my channel. Subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and then share to anyone who may need it. Really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video.